All right, then we need to talk about soil. Soil is absolutely the most important thing that you can do for your garden. You can go get your soil tested, get the pH tested. You can do this, it's for free. I think it's through the county. I'll be honest, I've never done this, largely because I'm lazy. And also I know what I've put into my soil, and so I know that it's not super alkaline or acidic. I just have really just put the very basics in there. For the plants that I know that I need to have more acidic soil, like blueberries, I just go ahead and add coffee grounds and pine shavings to it because I know that it needs acidic soil and it likes it. So I've just gone ahead and done that. If you don't know and you would like to be thorough, definitely testing of your soil would be the way to go. Okay, second of all, we want to talk about what goes into your soil. Roots don't actually grow, I don't know how to say it. Roots don't grow in your soil. They grow around. So I'm going to give a little illustration. Let's say that this is sand in your garden. I'm such a good drawer. All right, so this is sand in your garden. Your roots grow through this area. Does that make sense? Also, when you water is going to go through there. So if you have just rocks and sand, first of all, the water is going to go right through. But second of all, you're going to have a lot of space for your roots to grow, which is good. But the things that your roots are going to get nutrients from aren't very nutritious. So sand and rocks aren't going to give you the nutrients you need. If you have clay soil, it's going to be like this, and it's very difficult for your roots to get through there, and so they're going to really struggle. They're going to really struggle to get what they need. So you don't want it too loose and you don't want it too tight. You want a nice mixture of organic material, decomposing matter, manure, leaf, loam, that kind of thing. You want your soil to be pretty spongy and not overly sandy or really clay. I recommend using what you have. If you compost, I hope that one day you will. Compost is a fantastic way to amend your soil very inexpensively. If you have a friend who has manure or a farm nearby that has aged manure, go ahead and do that. If you are starting from scratch and you need to go to the store to buy all of this, I would recommend getting a mixture of peat moss, topsoil, and then it's called Black Cow, KOW, and that is a manure that you would put in, and then you would just mix those together. I would say of equal parts, maybe a little bit less of the peat moss, and then amend your soil like that. A lot of people are shying away from peat moss because it is a non-renewable source, in which case you can use, let's see, I wrote it down, coconut fiber or pulverized bark, but I don't use that much anymore. I use a lot of what I have around the house. If you're only going to use a small little bit, I would say peat moss would just be fine. Mel Bartholomew of the Square Foot Gardener, he recommends a third peat moss, a third vermiculite, and a third of compost. I couldn't find vermiculite. I don't know what was wrong with me if we just don't have that. But that's what he recommends, is a third, a third, a third. What we have done is manure, topsoil, and peat moss. That's how I got started. Now I have enough to where I go out and I get stuff from my compost bin. I get loam soil from out in the forest around our house, and then I mix it in with the soil that I currently have. So it's a lot of expense if you're just going to do it the first year. You're gonna be putting forth a lot if you just go to the store and buy everything. That is a way to go. If you can barter with friends for different things, you're gonna get a lot cheaper. If you have a big space that you're going to be using. We got a truckload full of topsoil for $15, but we had a huge area, and also different topsoils are different qualities, so make sure that you know what you're getting. All right, then growing times. Everybody's asked, when do I start? Well, there's two things you have to think about. Are you going to be planting cool weather crops or warm weather crops? The first thing you need to know is your frost-free date, and you can look that up online. Just put in frost-free date for, and then you put in your city, and it's going to tell you when that is. Our frost-free date in Raleigh is the first couple weeks of April, but I've looked online and I can see 2 weeks out that it's not going to frost, and so I'm getting ready to put my plants in. The other thing is you have several places that have a seed starting chart, and that will tell you when to put your stuff into the ground, and when, with the cool weather crops and the warm weather crops. So go ahead and look those up online. I can't tell you everybody what's going to be good for them. Like I said, some people are going to be in different climates. Some are in arid climates, some are in hot, humid climates, and so it's just going to be different for everybody. But those are online.